Hey, it's Aaron, the Metal Theologian, and trying this with this different camera, so we'll see how it works. This might turn to bullshit. So, yeah, you can tell I'm not prepared very well, but it's not going to do that much preparation anyway. Yeah, so just posting out some shit that I've been listening to. I've made a whole lot of videos lately, but it's not because I haven't been listening to music. You know, I get people shit about having record rooms, actually, sometimes, because you have to go and do something else to listen to music as opposed to just having it right there for you. So I encourage everyone, keep it in your living room, you know. But, yeah, so I'm listening to lots of records, but I haven't made a lot of videos, so fuck it. Anyway. Right now, we are listening to kind of my record of the week here, actually. This is the Holy Ghost Reception Committee, number 9. And this is a Void Records reissue. I'm a little bit obsessed with this label because I've kind of been into this sort of, you know, hippie, like not so hard old rock shit. But this is really kind of awesome. I mean, this is like real no shit, like Jesus music, like from like the whole like Jesus music movement, which other people know more about than me, but it's just so sincere, you know? And it's like, yeah, it's just like pure like religion, but they're like not quite in tune a lot of the time when they're singing, but like they just make up for it with the sincerity, and man, that's what I value in a record, you know? So I'm all about these guys. But they have another record that I'm going to send away for it too. Yeah, so I was listening to a lot of metal when I was making videos. That's some Russian shit. I still have some shit I haven't even shown yet, too. But I kind of, like, went off on this other tangent where I've listening to all this, like, really kind of wussy, old, like, hippie shit. That's kind of funny, because, like, I just got into the Dead, like, after decades of ranging from hating to this band to not thinking all that much of them. But now I've been listening to stuff like this, like, all the time, you know? It's a really cool record. Yeah, there are a couple more here, too. It's Working Man's Dead. You know, it's like the obvious ones, too, because I never spent any time with these records. It's like, yeah, sure, I've heard Casey Jones before and shit like that, but I haven't sat down and listened to these records all the way through, so it's like discovering them for the first time, which is really kind of awesome. Yeah, so a lot of the stuff I've been going through is I was going through... Vinyl Richie made a video a couple months ago with his favorite... like his favorite psych records. So I went back and watched that and like pulled out what I had and sent away for a few of the ones that I did, although not everything. And, you know, just been trying to like reacquaint myself with shit. The other thing I do is I sought out the shit by the Void label, because I used to have a bunch of shit. I still have most of the harder ones, like they did Boulder Dam and that Ellison record and St. Anthony's Fire. So stuff like that I kept, but like the kind of the wussier ones that I used to have, I got let go of when I was sort of on hard times. And I'm like, fuck, man, I wish I had that Folklords record still. So at some point I'll probably do a feature, so I'm going to shy away from them a little bit. Because it's just an interesting label, Void. I mean, there's a reason I was into it 20 years ago, and I've now come back to it in such a big way. But I will whet your appetite with one more, which is... one of the ones I used to have, actually, that I let go of. But this is a really cool record, man. First of all, look at that. How can you not love that cover, right? It's so simple. And it's hand-numbered in that. But what's really cool about this one is it's actually a test press. Yeah, usually they have custom labels, but this one you can tell that's like... So it's funny that it got a numbered cover, but there probably aren't more than a few of these. So that was just, you know, so when I sent away for it, that's how it came. So sheer luck on that one, you know, not like connections or anything. Yeah, this is really kind of a cheesy record. Like, listening to it now, I can tell why I didn't like it when I heard it back, you know, when it was a relatively new reissue. Because a lot of the hooks are kind of obvious. The delivery is kind of... you know, soft and like not really in your face or anything like that, but I just enjoy it, man, you know? It's funny, there's certain thresholds I still haven't crossed. Like, I don't have any Crosby, Stills, and Nash. I don't have any Jefferson Airplane, you know, because that was just kind of too much. But I have been really enjoying this record. In addition to the Dead. Look at that shit. I want to check out a Birds record. I was trying to see this one and the first one, because normally I go for the first one, right? But I couldn't bear to listen to that fucking cover of Mr. Tambourine Man, so I went for this one. And I love it, man. It's fucking awesome. It's fantastic. So, alright, I've been dawdling a little bit because I want to make sure this thing wasn't going to start corrupting before I opened up a soda, but we're looking pretty okay, and I am fucking thirsty, so we're going to try this premium butterscotch beer, which is approved by the Ministry of Magical Foods and Drinks. You see that shit? It's a little bit dark. Yeah, I don't really know why. But anyway, there we go. It's probably 180 calories. Could be worse. Contains milk, carbonated water, pure cane sugar, natural and artificial flavors, caramel color, phosphoric acid, sodium benzoate, and stevia extract. So there you go. This is, I actually cheated and had one of these. It's really sweet. But let's see. Orca beverage? Yeah. McKilty, Washington. And we're going to give this a shot, man. I did try this and I really liked it because I got 2 of this one. But, you know, it's not fresh in my mind, so we're going to approach this with an open mind. Maybe this time it's going to suck, you know? But you know something? This is actually a safe one because these fucking butterscotch beers are always great. Totally, man. Balls out butterscotch. I mean, it's really butterscotch more than anything having to do with, like, root beer. It is funny this is for all ages. But yeah, like, even, like, you know, those dang ones, which are great, those still have a little bit of a root beer. This was really just pure butterscotch. But, man, it's nice. Super sweet. Very lightly carbonated, like, almost carbonated just enough that it sort of scratches the inside of your mouth on the way in. Like it agitates your taste buds just a little bit so that like the sweetness flows in and like saturates your mouth and your whole, you know, worldview. That's really fucking good, man. Hope I don't spill that shit. Alright, so let's look at a couple more records. Yeah, so here's one I reassessed. This is one, I've had this one for years. And, well, here, I won't build suspense. Silver Apples. That shiny-ass cover. This is the first Silver Apples record. God, a long time ago I had something on CD, didn't think much of it. Then, like, got rid of that when I got rid of my CDs. Saw this hit getting around once, but I was like, I'll give it another shot. I still didn't care for it, mostly because even though they, like, have their own instrument, you know, this thing, the Simeon, right? Which is, like, their own, like, homemade instrument, which is all the music, basically. There isn't vocals in the band. Or drums. You know, as much as I wanted to like that, it just sounded kind of weak and wussy to me. It's like, it didn't really grab you, the weird instrument, and the vocals were just kind of like this. Except even, like, more sort of weak, you know? And it just kind of rubbed me the wrong way. It just left me cold, you know? Well, not anymore, man. I love this now. Like, I'm down with this kind of shit now. And with that as the bass line, this is a really cool record, man. The songs aren't bad at all. I was actually surprised, having not listened to this in a few years, how many of these songs had stuck in my head. And when I heard them again, I went, oh, wow. And then, you know, yeah, the delivery isn't, like, super hard. This is not like a, you know, a Xenakis record or something like that, or a Wolf Eyes record, you know? But it's a cool, like, primitive synth record, and I really enjoy listening to it again. So here's one that's new to me. I've been hearing people talk about this one for a while. I had never really bitten. But I figured it was finally time to check it out. And that's the first Spirit. I, a long time ago, had 12 Dreams of Dr. Sardonicus, which I had heard was the one to have, and it also had the best title. Thought it was boring as fuck. And it actually went in a really long ago purge, I think. So I didn't actually really spend any time with this band in a long time. I kind of written them off. So I just played this one again, and I'd say the jury's still out. It's kind of, it might grow on me. I kind of like when they start stretching out into sort of the prog parts and that. But the actual songs don't really grab me in the way that I'd like to, you know? I mean, sometimes they crack wise up, bands be a little rough with the hooks, but these guys, it's like they have songs, but they don't have any hooks. And it's a little bit, it kind of blurs together, and it doesn't feel like it has a lot of personality until they're going into these longer instrumental sections. So, my verdict on this one for now is that I haven't gotten my head around it yet. There are things about it I like and things about it I don't like. So I'm going to listen to it a few more times and see what it says to me. It's an interesting record. I'll give it that. And records always get points for that. I mean, you know, I hate the Eagles, okay? But I'll call Desperado an interesting record. So, you know, it's not necessarily a good thing. And I'm actually not out to damn this record with faint praise either. I mean, really, I'm trying to stay agnostic. But, alright, here's another old favorite. I haven't torn the shrink off this one yet, but great record. And this is a lot more sort of along the lines of the stuff I used to listen to a lot of when I was more into the 60s stuff. I really got tired of 60s shit before I started making videos, so there's almost nothing out there with me talking about this kind of stuff. But there was a time when I spent a lot of time listening to shit like the Electric Crones, and, you know, like the Seeds and the Standells, and the Leaves I liked a lot. The Count 5, obviously. Question Mark and the Mysterians. You know, Shadows of Night, shit like that. Sort of the harder edge ones, the more punky ones, the ones that were influences on, you know, television and bands like that, you know. A lot of that stuff I don't care about so much anymore. It's not that I don't like it, it's just that I'm kind of finished with it, you know. But this is one that I still really enjoy, you know. There are a handful that I kept, and maybe a couple more that I've rebought. And yeah, I'll tell you, I had originals of a lot of shit that I kind of wish I'd kept, but, you know, whatever, life goes on. Someone else will be giving it a good home, I assume. And, you know, the stakes are lower, because you can get reissues like this now. You know, when I was, like, collecting this shit more intensely, if I found something like this, it was like, oh, I've got to, like, hold on to it, because I might not see it again, you know. But now it's like, if I let it go, yeah, it might be a cooler pressing than one I come across later, but if I want the record, here it is, you know. So, yeah, I really like the Electric Prunes. These names tend to blur together. Fucking Strawberry Alarm Clock, Bubble Puppy, Ultimate Spinach, Electric Prunes, Peppermint Trolley. I mean, all these fucking silly-ass hippie names. And it's kind of fucked, because some of them are great and some of them are terrible. These guys are great, and they're on the heavy end of the spectrum, too. So, yeah. Very cool record, that one. What else do we have here? Alright, here's another one. This is probably the most Jefferson Airplane-y one that I've got here. This is a Peanut Butter Conspiracy. Speaking of stupid hippie names, there it is. Another perfect example, right? This is The Great Conspiracy. And I actually got this one under the influence of Vinyl Richie, watching his old video. And by the way, there was some in there that I'm not even going to be talking about because they're kind of obvious, like that Kaleidoscope record. Puerto Rican band that got their thing put out in Mexico. But that's just a fantastic record. You just fucking need that thing, you know what I mean? In a way, that's in a different category because that just transcends like the kind of sort of new paths that I'm kind of walking down here, you know what I mean? Because that's just like kind of crazy shit. It's not like the Dead where, okay, yeah, they had the crazy moments, but they also had this really fucking kind of atrocious following that... you know, there's a lot of baggage with the Dead, okay? I mean, that's a big part of why it took me so long to really sit down and listen to a record. I have no doubt, and I'll own that, too, you know what I mean? I try to see past these things, but I can't always. Anyway, this record, very wussy. And I think I like it a lot. I do like it. I think I like it a lot. Yeah, Turn On a Friend to the Good Life, Invasion of the Poppy People, Captain Sandwich, Time Is After You. It really kind of tells you what this record's about. You know, there are all these liner notes, which of course I can't be bothered reading. You know, sort of boy and girl vocals, like kind of alternating in that. Just really kind of happy, but I don't know, man. I'm just down with this stuff. It's funny. I had so much contempt for this stuff for a long time, and now just on a dime I've switched, and that's all I want to hear, you know? It's a weird headspace to be in, you know? Here are a couple other sort of old friends. This is a pretty weird one right here. And this was a reissue that was kicking around for a while. Originals are, like all these, are pretty tough to find. I think this is about $100 original. It might be more, but I don't think so. But this was like $10. Pretty sure I bought this in Omaha, actually, too. Anyway, this, I'm pretty sure the band is called Friend Sound, and the record is called Joyride. But I wasn't even sure about that for a long time, and for like years I actually had this file into Joyride, which I kind of think is a better name for a band than Friend Sound, but whatever. You know something, looking at this again, I'm starting to second guess myself again, so who the fuck knows. Anyway, prepared piano on this one, okay? Shovel, you know, Celesta, finger cymbals, and organ, you know. Prepared piano on more than one song, and that always grabs my attention, being a John Cage fan, of course, right? This one has that kind of hippie-ish vibe, but it is not just like sort of corny, like, oh, we're smoking weed shit. It's a lot more sort of experimental. Again, it's not experimental the way I would call something like, you know, Edgar Varese experimental, but, or, you know, Albert Eiler even necessarily, but it is for sort of a hippie psych record, and it's fantastic, man. This is a great record, seriously, very highly recommended. This one I've had for a while too, also just pulled it out again. Didn't like it as much as I was kind of hoping to, actually. The Moray Eels Eat the Holy Modal Rounders. I used to have a couple other Holy Modal Rounders records. This is the one that I kept for some reason, probably because it's the last one I found. I found reissues of like Indian War Hoop and one of the other ones, but none of them really spoke to me. This one is, you know, the songs are good. It has that attitude, like you can kind of tell they were an ESP band before they cut this one for Elektra, because they just kind of have that snottiness to them. You know, they're not the Fugs, and they're not the Gods, but they kind of have, they just have that attitude, you know what I mean? It's like, sort of like David Peel, maybe, something along those lines. In a way, I think the most interesting thing on this is, buried all the way towards the end is the song Half a Mind, which, I want to say the Fugs do, on, the East Village Other record, which was an early ESP record. And I used to have that on CD, and I actually played that a lot more than I ever played this. So I totally know that song, so getting to it like 3/4 of the way through the record, I was like, wow, that's Half a Mind, isn't it? Yeah, I may be wrong with the performance on the other one. It's been a while, but that's more of a novelty album than anything, too. What else do we have? This is a great example of another record that I would have hated before. It's another Void one. I'm trying to stay away from these, but this is a Haymarket Square, Magic Lantern. Again, it has like, you know, actually I think the woman does most of the singing, but it has like male and female vocals. Kind of long songs on this one, so a little bit of a prog sensibility, but to call this one prog would be kind of a reach, you know. It's really definitely more of a hippie record, like you can sort of tell by all those fucking plants and wildlife they're hanging around and that shit, you know. But it's a cool record, man. I just like these songs. I like the way they develop the ideas. And this is one of those where an original would set you back. Fuck it. This is like a monster, okay? It's not like the Friend Sound one. This would be like, I don't know if it'd be $1,000, but this would be several $100s. If I spent anything approaching that, I would have been fucking bummed. But for $20, very enjoyable record and totally worth it, man. So, all right, well, I'm right about 20 minutes. I don't want this one to last forever. I'm just going to show one more obvious one because I've never shown this one before, and I've been playing this one a lot too. But I might play this when we're done with the video. Fucking Disraeli Gears. It's not the first copy I ever owned. But it's the first copy I've owned that I've played more than once. I've been playing this one over and over. And yeah, I hate that little fucking goofball tune at the end. I've complained about that sort of thing before, like the little comedy one at the end. And I'll tell you, that's something that kind of afflicts English bands. You know who else kind of suffers from that a little bit is the Rainbow Folly. You know, this is a cool record, man, but they just kind of go a little bit far with their, like, goofiness, and look how funny we are, because everyone in England is Monty Python. And, you know, it gets a little bit tedious, but it doesn't spoil that record, and it sure as hell doesn't spoil that Cream record, especially because they put it at the end, so you can just skip over it. That song is rockin', or that record is rockin', but it's still hippie enough that I'm all over it with the headspace I've been in, so yeah, man, maybe I'll call this video The Metal Theologian Listens to Obvious Shit, because I feel like this is, yeah, there's some obscuros in here, but, like, the path that I'm on is, like, an obvious shit path. This isn't, like, hey, let's talk about the gods. This is like, hey, let's talk about the dead. So, what can I say? I would have talked about the dead a lot more, but fucking other people know way more about them, so I'll let them do the talking. Thanks for watching in any case. It's always fun. Till next time.